but he is kind, thoughtful, and charming, and she finds herself increasingly drawn to him until he tasks her with investigating a killer plaguing the kingdom. The problem, the killer is Saoirse. What? Hello Tandem fandom, Char here. Welcome to the Tandem Collective, where you can stay up to date with the latest book releases, book news, and the latest from Team Tandem. Today we are doing a first chapter reading of some of the books that I have picked from my November TBR. So we've gone shopping on my shelves. I've picked 5 books. I'm going to read the first chapter and then rank them. I'm going to take the top 3 through to my November TBR. So let's get into it. So I have shelves up here in the office, and then I have obviously the bookshelves that you know downstairs. So I think I'm going to pick 2 from up here and then 3 from downstairs. So my first pick is... Oh, this is so hard. It's going to be Thank You for Listening by Whelan. I've had this on my TBR for so long. So yeah, we'll pick this one and then we'll take it downstairs and I'll read all the synopsis and stuff. Okay, so next I have picked Sing Me to Sleep by Gabi Burton. Again, obsessed with the cover, obsessed with the concept. And I'm going to try and pick like completely different books from different genres because I do read quite widely. So yeah, Sing Me to Sleep is number 2. Let's head downstairs. Okay, so we're downstairs now. I have a couple of bits. I think I know which one I'm already going to pick because it's been on my TBR for a while. We've got some books here, and then we have all of these to pick from. Dog break. Hey, Mackie. I think I'm going to pick Before We Were Innocent by Berman. So that's going to be number 3. I love the cover of this one, and I just love the pink. I'm a sucker for anything pink. Okay, so we need 2 more books. So we've got some romance, some fantasy. I think this is like a thriller, but like not like a thriller. So I think I might go like classic thriller, and then maybe some non-fiction. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look. I'm going to pick The Only One Left by Riley Sager because this came really highly recommended by Lex, so that's going to go in the pile. And then we need 1 more. Okay, I'm going to go with No Worries If Not by Soph Galustian. This is non-fiction. I think it's like a memoir. So we're going to go with this one. Okay, so this is the final pile. So I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm going to pop on some cozy reading sounds. And I'm going to read the first chapter. And then I'm going to just go through what I think and whether it's going to get added to my November TBR or whether it is unfortunately going back on the shelf for now. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I've got my tea, I've got my biscuit, and I think I'm just going to start from the top. So I'm going to start with No Worries If Not. So this is by Soph Galustian, and it is described as a funny-ish story of growing up working class and queer. So the blurb is, "Hello, Soph here, the one from the front cover. You look like the sort of person who might enjoy a funny, relatable, coming-of-age story that explores a once Cheryl from Girls Loud obsessed girl from South Manchester's experience of poverty, queerness, mental health, and grief. Yes, I said funny. The sort of person who wants to take a nostalgic journey back to the 2000s, 2010s through a mixture of short stories, spoken word, illustrations, and space for you to reflect. Or draw tits, whatever you prefer. Then you're in the right place. This book is for both straights and gays, the rich and disadvantaged. It's for anyone who has struggled, anyone who has wrestled with their feelings, anyone who has accidentally killed their childhood pet or lost someone close to them. It's a space to laugh at life's misfortunes and messy edges. I hope it's a bit of you, but no worries if not." Okay, so I did grow up working class and queer, so I'm very interested in this, and I know that it's typically a fiction thing, but I love I hope it's a bit of you, but no worries if not. Okay, so I'm going to read the introduction, which is about 16 pages, and already, I like the mixed media of it. So yeah, let's read that, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, Okay, so I just finished the introduction for No Worries If Not, and I think I will, I don't know, I obviously can't comment. I only want to sort of take two, three max of these over. Or maybe I'll take them all. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy a memoir. And what I really like about this one is that because it's written by someone that, well, she's 25 at the time of writing, so I don't know what, I think this only came out last year. So she's very much like, she's not my age. I am 30, but she's of my generation. And so there are references in here like X Factor auditions. And if any of you are on TikTok at the minute, obviously the old X Factor auditions have been trending again, and so they've been mentioned. And just like, I love it when the pop culture references that are being mentioned, I understand, which I'm getting a lot of here. It's very raw and it's really easy to read. It doesn't feel like, it just feels like we're sat like yapping with a cup of tea, which I'm really enjoying. So yes, No Worries If Not is a great start to the pile. Swiftly on to number 2, we're going for Thank You For Listening by Julie Whelan. This is a paperback. It's a bit bigger than a standard paperback because I think it's a US edition, but I love the cover. So the blurb is, for Siwani Chester, being an audiobook narrator is a long way from her old dreams, and the days of being a star on film sets are long behind her. She's found success and satisfaction from the inside of a sound booth. When she arrives in Las Vegas last minute for a book convention, Siwani unexpectedly spends a whirlwind night with a charming stranger. Then Siwani discovers one of the world's most beloved romance novelists wanted her to perform her last book, with Brock McKnight, the industry's hottest, most secretive voice. Siwani doesn't buy what romance novels are selling, not after her own dreams were tragically cut short. Her admiration of the late author changed her mind, though, and resurrecting her old romance pseudonym, she and Brock forge a real connection, hidden behind the comfort of anonymity. Soon, she is dreaming again. But when secrets are revealed and the realities of life come crashing down around her once more, can she learn to risk everything for desires she has long buried? So it's a book about books, and I like the audiobook angle, and I have heard actually that this is really good on audio. So yeah, let's read the first chapter. So the first chapter is only 10 pages, so let's go. Right, so I finished the first chapter of Thank You For Listening by Julie Whelan. Actually, one thing I missed was that there is a quote from Jodi Picoult on the front. I'm obsessed with Jodi Picoult, as you know. And I really, really liked, so it's split into parts. That one of the quotes is from June French. I don't know. Yeah, it was like a thing from Cosmopolitan magazine. And the quote is, prologues are like flirting. There's a time and a place, but sometimes you just need to push the reader up against the wall and stick your tongue down the throat. And I really like that. So in the first chapter, our main character is on a plane. She's going to Las Vegas for a like romance conference, and she's standing in for a friend of hers who is supposed to be chairing a panel on romance audio. So she's listening to the audiobook as she goes, and there's a little text exchange, which I always really enjoy in books, like a visual of the text exchange. So that's happening, and then there's a kid sat next to her, and there's this like tussle going on. They're getting drinks and stuff. She spilled her drink and the kid mentions it, and actually what I did remember about this is that Siwani so in the blurb it says that she wanted to be an actress, but then something happened, and I think she was in an accident or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but she has an eye patch, and so the kid asks her about it. We don't learn more about it yet, but she sort of shuts that down, and then she's like, look, I'm sorry, I would usually have this conversation with you, but right now I need to finish what I'm working on. She puts her headphones back on to listen to the rest of her audiobook, and her headphones are disconnected, and so this raunchy sex scene is playing, and everyone on the plane hears it. I think I will keep reading this. It's very fast paced, and I liked the chapter was really short, and I think, yeah, it's funny. I did laugh out loud like a couple of times. So yes, I think I'll keep this on the November TBR. Next up is Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman. So I love the pink on this. I love the cover. I like the pink against the black and white. So I think this is a bit, I think it's commercial, but I think it's like got this like mystery thread in it. I don't think it's I don't think it's a thriller, but I think it's a mystery. So the blurb is, This is the story of three perfectly imperfect women who hurt each other in all the most obvious ways, but who loved each other enough for a lifetime, and it doesn't end there. 10 years ago, after a sun-soaked summer spent in Greece, Bess and Joni were cleared of having any involvement in their best friend Evangeline's death. But that didn't stop the media from tearing them to shreds, turning two flawed young women into depraved thrill-seekers who led their friend down a twisted and deadly path. Now Joni needs a favour, and when she turns up at her old friend's doorstep asking for an alibi, Bess has no choice but to say yes, she still owes her. But as the two friends try desperately to shake off their past, they have to face reality. Can you ever be an innocent woman when everyone wants you to be guilty? I'm intrigued. The first chapter is... It's chapter 3. Okay, really short. Okay, wait a minute. Ooh, okay, so the first chapter is 3 pages. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to read it and I'll come back. Okay, so not a super, like, gripping 3 pages, but I did like the last sentence. So the last sentence was, or the last couple of sentences, sorry. I think about everything I lost while Joni elevated our shared existence, upgrading her life like a company car. I think about the end of that summer and feel the shame trickle down the back of my neck. There are 10,000 reasons why I shouldn't let Joni live on inside my house tonight, but still I take a step backward. Follow me, I say. I can't say it hasn't got me hooked. I think the concept is interesting to me. So I think Thank You for Listening is still top, but I'm not uninterested, if that makes sense. And I also really like, I like books about female friendship, but I often find them disappointing because I feel like I have very good female friendships, and I often just think that some books about female friendship, and that's not to say that this is that, but like some books that have been very good in that people have enjoyed in the past and described to me as like really great female friendships, I read them and I just think these feel like caricatures of women, of like actual real women, and I just find them quite hard to read. So the dedication is to my own fierce friendships, some of which have lasted, some of which are lost. I think of you all often. And I really like that. Okay, I think if we are ranking, I think this is number 3. I think No Worries If Not is second, and first is Thank You for Listening. So let's go on to number 4. Right, we are on to full thriller now with Riley Sager's The Only One Left. Again, I only picked this up. This actually is Lex's copy. She sent it to me to read. It was a while ago now, actually, so she'll be glad that I'm actually finally getting around to it. It's got a full onslaught of thriller voices on the back. So we've got quotes here from Karen Slaughter, Shari LaPena, Alex McLadies, Ruth Ware, Ellery Lloyd. So The Only One Left is about, I actually, again, don't know what it's about. Riley Sager is one of those authors that I'll just pick the books up. I don't necessarily know what they're about. I just know that I'll enjoy them. So the blurb is, everyone believes that Lenora Hope is a mass murderer. When the Hope family was massacred decades ago, she was the only one left alive after that tragic night. Mute, paralysed and confined to a wheelchair, Lenora has never been able to tell her side of the story until her new living caregiver Kit brings her a typewriter. And with one working finger, Lenora begins to type, I want to tell you everything. Darkly atmospheric and full of sharp characters and gasp-worthy twists, The Only One Left is a haunting and claustrophobic gothic thriller from master of suspense Riley Sager. I also need to know what happened here because there's lots of glitter. So I'll have to ask Lex. But yes, very, very excited for this. The first chapter I'm not expecting will be overly long, which is classic Riley Sager. Okay, so we have a prologue, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long. But then the actual first chapter is 12 pages. Do I read it all? Okay, I'm going to read the prologue and the first chapter. Okay. So I read the prologue and read the first chapter. So the prologue is what seems like a memory that Kit is having, who's the main character, and she's talking to Lenora, who is the patient that she's looking after, who is the one who has allegedly killed her family. And then we flip into the first chapter, which is Kit speaking to her employer, and she's being assigned to go and work with Lenora, which she's not pleased about because obviously Lenora is rumoured to have killed her entire family in 1929. She's now had a series of strokes and is mute and needs looking after, and they want Kit to do it. So there's also something going on with Kit that seems... So she's been off work for 6 months, and it seems like she's been accused of something, wrongly accused. She's saying that she didn't do it, and the agency, she didn't want to go back to the agency, but she doesn't have a choice, there's no other jobs for her. So that's going on as well, so I'm sure we'll find out something more about that. But yes, I'm fully intrigued, I'm fully in. I think this has taken the top spot, so I think it's this. Thank you for listening. No worries if not, then Before We Were Innocent. And I've decided I'm just going to take the top 3 over. So let's see how the next one fares. Final book is fantasy. We are going for Sing Me to Sleep by Gabi Burton. And I am obsessed with the cover of this. So I think this is about mermaids or sirens. Something like that. Let's read the blurb. Saoirse Sakova survives on secrets. That's a lot of S's to start off with. And as the last siren in her kingdom, she can sing any man to an early grave, but her very existence is illegal, and if her true identity were ever discovered, it would be her life on the line. By day, Saoirse disguises herself as a fae, pretending to be the perfect soldier in training, but by night, she satisfies her darker urges working as an assassin for dangerous mercenaries. And all the while, she keeps the biggest secret of them all, that she is not always in control of her siren powers or her desire to kill. Then a blackmailer threatens her sister, and Saoirse's investigation takes her to the royal palace and her most dangerous job yet, personal bodyguard to the crown prince. Saoirse expects to despise Prince Hayes, but he is kind, thoughtful, and charming, and she finds herself increasingly drawn to him until he tasks her with investigating a killer plaguing the kingdom. The problem, the killer is Saoirse. What? Trapped by her deadly double life, Saoirse can't leave the palace until she saves her sister, but who will save her from herself? Interesting. Let's read the first chapter. Let's find out how far I've got to read. Okay, we've got 10 pages, which has been fairly average so far. Oh, and we've got a map. Do a close-up of that in a sec. The only problem that I'm having with this stack is that they're all hardbacks, apart from Thank You for Listening. And I usually am just not about hardback, you know? I don't know, they're fine. Wow. Okay, so I don't read a lot of fantasy, I wouldn't say, but this has intrigued me. So in the first chapter, we see Saoirse. She's in a bar. She lures this man into an alley and kills him, and then meets her employer, capital E. She doesn't know a lot about him. He pays her. She goes home to her family, and they have an argument over her job and that they don't like that she does that. It seems that her sister needs protecting, or they need money to look after her younger sister. So that's why she does this extra work. And then she's graduating from the army, which obviously is how she's going to get to the prince. I'm intrigued. It's definitely caught me. So I think I'll keep this on. Let's go into the final ranking. Okay, so they are the 5 books I picked for my TBR. Like I said, I'm going to take 3 over into my actual TBR, and then on Tuesday you will see the books that myself, Jenny and Lex are picking to read next month. And yeah, so the books are, so I think if I'm going to rank them, I think Riley Saget is number 1. Soph Galustian is number 2, so No Worries If Not is number 2. Sing Me to Sleep is 3. Thank You for Listening is 4, and Before We Were Innocent is 5. So I think I'm going to drop Thank You for Listening and Before We Were Innocent. And I'm going to take these ones into my November TBR. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, on Tuesday's video is gonna be our October wrap up, so what we read this month. So if you want to be in preparation for that, head back down to our video at the beginning of this month where Jenny, Lex and I went over our October TBRs, and then check us out on Tuesday to see if we actually did it. Spoiler alert, I've actually had a very good reading month, so I'm excited to let you know I've actually been reading. And then next Friday we'll be chatting through our November TBRs, which you have just sort of had a bit of a preview into. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and drop us a comment if you've read any of the books. I would love to chat to you guys. And if you enjoyed it and you want to hear more from us, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We will see you next time. It's been lovely chatting to you.